Hey guys, this is Fangs SRV here coming at you with a new video, and in today's video we're going to be discussing something that's a little bit triggering for me, something I find extremely annoying every time a new side view Sonic game comes out. So yeah, before we start discussing it, definitely make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and definitely make sure to hit that bell button to get all my videos. And definitely check out all my links. I've been streaming on Twitch. I've been doing it for 5 days at 4 p.m. Central Time. And because of it being Sonic Tuesday, I will be streaming Sonic Speed Simulator to catch up on stuff. So if you have a Twitch, definitely come and follow me. And don't worry, I'll still be doing YouTube streams. It's just, I just got to figure that out. And definitely check out all my other links. I think I said that already. If I did, just ignore that I said it again. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure everyone knows, if you've been subscribed to my channel, that the classic era games is probably my favorite era of Sonic. Not because that they're seen as the best examples of Sonic, or that they're seen as better games, but because they give me that warm comfort feeling. The classic Sonic games are probably some of my more, I guess, comfort food, I guess, to use that, you use that term. Um, but I've noticed ever since Sonic Mania and Sonic Superstars came out, well, when they're either already come out or as soon as they come out as our game reviews, that's when you start seeing stuff like, is this is this the real Sonic 4? Is this the true Sonic 4? Is this what Sonic 4 should have been? No, naturally, after Sonic 3 and Knuckles came and went, we've had other side view Sonic games, right? There was the various Game Gear games. There's Sonic Pocket Adventure on the Neo Geo Pocket. And of course, more famously, we have some of the Sonic Advance trilogy and the Sonic Rush trilogy, the DS version of Sonic Colors being considered part of that because they use, the same models, the same gameplay. Difference is you just had a different voice actor for Sonic. And this whole discussion about what is the true Sonic 4, I find completely. I get why people discuss it because, I do acknowledge the fact that Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 are not seen that very fairly. Well, not very fairly, are not seen in a positive light in the Sonic community. Because of the fact that too many people, it should have been classic Sonic. The physics are not right, even though in episode 2 they did improve it. The music isn't that memorable. And those games in particular is when people started to really turn on dimps when it comes to working on Sonic. Especially when it comes to the boost. The freaking I forgot what they call it. It's where when you run through them, they make you go a bit faster. Um, I'm sure that there will be a Chibi Mizu somewhere telling me what they're called. But so too many people, a proper Sonic 4 is basically the opposite of what Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 brought. Now, the big complicated answer is, what is truly the true Sonic 4? Well, let me give you my opinion. So, if we were to look at things technically, Sonic 4 is actually Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Some people may be confused on why. It doesn't make sense. It's called Sonic 3. Well, if we're going to use some logic in this, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is was the fourth game. Sonic CD was technically the third mainline Sonic game. Even though technically, probably not a lot of people played it when it first came out because of the Sega CD being extremely expensive when it first came out. Now, I do acknowledge that officially Sonic 3 Knuckles is basically, is the third game. But if we were to look things like I said, technically, Sonic 3 Knuckles is technically Sonic 4. Sonic CD is actually Sonic 3. But that's just not, the reality we live in, right? Sonic CD is Sonic CD. Sonic 3 Knuckles is the third Sonic the Hedgehog. It is the third game that was worked on by Yuji Naka. Sonic CD was helmed by, how am I forgetting the dude's name? Because he also worked on Superstar. Give me a second, you guys. Oshima. Now Naoto Oshima. I hope I didn't say his name wrong. He was the one that helmed Sonic CD. So that's probably why. Now, if we were to look at Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance could actually be considered as Sonic 4. Sonic Advance has very classic Sonic-esque gimmicks. The physics are pretty good. It's the closest thing at the time that for a Sonic that struck 4. But again, the one thing that people disliked about Sonic that struck 4 Episode 1 and 2 was that it was modern Sonic and not classic Sonic. So using that logic, Sonic Advance isn't Sonic 4. Sonic Rush isn't Sonic 4 because that game features gameplay that goes against the classic formula. So now that leaves us with Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2, Sonic Mania, and Sonic Superstars. Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2, the fan base rejects that game basically being Sonic 4. It's kind of like with Godzilla 98, to a lot of Godzilla fans, that version of Godzilla is just Godzilla in name only, or just Zilla. It's not really Godzilla. The Sonic fandom uses the same approach for Sonic 4, I feel like, to where it's Sonic 4 in name only. So we're going to hold off on Sonic 4 for right now. Sonic Mania. Well, in the trailer, And I think they show it in the actual intro cutscene too, when you boot up the game. You see that they put Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, Sonic 3 and K, and then Mania. And to many Sonic fans, Sonic Mania is the true Sonic 4. I mean, you have a group of people that was involved in the fan game community. You have someone that actually reverse engineered the classic Sonic physics to the point that Sonic Superstars had some help when it comes to getting the physics perfectly. Which, keep in mind, Takashi Iizuka said that classic Sonic physics just doesn't work in 3D. But at the time, which again, that whole, probably that statement that he made probably really, you know, riled up the classic Sonic fans because there were probably examples back then of 3D Sonic fan games done in the classic style with the proper physics. I mean, if you go on to what's it called? It's a Sonic fan page that a lot of fan developers go on. There's a lot of information. Sonic Retro. There we go. They actually have a article, a page explaining how to basically get to get Sonic physics to be of that of the classic games. Sonic fans literally reverse engineered the physics of those classic Sonic games. And you have the fact that in the um in the basically the modern recreation of the Sonic 2 TV spot, you had someone that worked on Sonic 2. Oh, that someone that was originally a part of that trailer appear in that modern recreation of that same trailer when Sonic Mania came out. Even Sega has acknowledged the fact that Sonic Mania continues where Sonic 3 Knuckles left off. But that wouldn't satisfy people, would it? Because Sonic Superstars comes along, it's 3D, plays like a classic Sonic game, amazing music. Is this game Sonic 4? Because it is the next logical step of the classic Sonic formula. It's in 3D. But is a Sonic 4? No, it's not. And this is where I get into my opinion on what's Sonic 4. My opinion, Sonic 4 used to be Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2. When it first came out, that's what the games were called. And marketing-wise, that game is the fourth Sonic the Hedgehog, continuing the story from Sonic Knuckles. But but because the fact that the fan base has rejected those games and Sega has basically acknowledged it. Yes, those games are backwards compatible on the Xbox One Series X, but you don't see people wanting those games to be ported to like modern consoles. Why? Because the fan base, like I said, they rejected those games. Is it fair to the developers? No. They tried their best. But apparently, the fan base has decided that that best just wasn't good enough. So, in my opinion, the true Sonic 4 is Sonic Mania. It is the true continuation of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It is it really looks like a Genesis Sonic game with some inspiration from the Sega Saturn. The music is excellent. The only downside to Sonic Mania is the fact that it's basically just a classic Sonic version of Sonic Generations. That's the only thing that I really am not a big fan of it. Well, a big fan of, but it's a freaking amazing made game. So going by that logic, if Sonic Mania is the true Sonic 4, what does that make Sonic Superstars? Well, that Sonic Superstars would be Sonic the Hedgehog 5. And I'm pretty sure that's how the fan base sees it. This is always going to be debated. And I'm sure that when there's a new classic Sonic game, probably this conversation is going to be brought back up. I'm sure. So to fully end this debate, marketing wise and name wise, Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 is the true Sonic 4. Difference is, much like with Godzilla 98, probably to Sonic fans, Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 is just Sonic 4 in name only. Sonic Mania is the true Sonic 4 from a gameplay perspective, music perspective, and just overall how much love was put into that game. You can tell that game was made by people that is passionate about the Sonic fan base. I mean, not passionate about the Sonic fan base, passionate about Sonic, about Sonic. And Sonic Superstars, in my opinion, is also worthy to be called Sonic 5. I'm actually playing it on my Switch. And I don't get some of the hate that game got when it first came out. It's not as good as Sonic Mania. I will acknowledge that. But it's still a damn good Sonic game at the end of the day. And for all you people that say that Sonic Superstar is going to be seen similarly to Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2, I disagree completely. Because the fan base, again, rejected Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2. Because again, wasn't classic Sonic. The physics were bad. Even though, like I said, they improved it in Episode 2. And the music wasn't memorable. Now, if we were to be really technical, if I had to put on a tinfoil hat, Sonic Hedgehog 4 is technically Sonic 3 and Knuckles because it's the fourth game in the Sonic franchise. Sonic CD is seen as, Sonic CD is seen as in the same caliber as Sonic 1, 2, and 3. So going by that logic, Sonic CD is actually Sonic 3, while Sonic 3 and Knuckles is Sonic 4. But that's just not true. I'm saying technically. I mean, technically, they are the third and fourth game of the franchise. But story-wise, they're not. But yeah, this was a super fun video to do. I'm sure that I probably angered some people, and I'm sure this conversation will never end. This whole debate. But let me know what you all think. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. And I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Later, guys.
Man.